Now on KOAM, today was Officer Jake Reed Day in Joplin. Friends and family gathered to remember his life and his service. Plus, community members gathered at North Park Mall for the March of the Kidney. And Missouri Southern University football volunteers helped to clean up local schools.
The four states' most watched news starts now.
Thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Cale Chapman. Many gathered in the community today to celebrate the life of one Joplin police officer. KOAM's Kerry Worthen has the details.
And I can honestly say that he was one of my favorites.
Friends, family, and co-workers gathered today to celebrate Jake Reed's memory. Jake Reed was a police officer for the Joplin Police Department. In Reed's final act of service, he donated his organs so other people could live.
It's one thing giving the ultimate sacrifice, during the line of duty, but to go a step further and to provide your organs so that other people can live, it's a step above.
Today's marked Officer Jake Reed Day. Through tears, one by one, people shared stories about Reed.
While my walk of faith hasn't been easy, and I don't consider myself some great example, I have a few things in my faith I stay true to. And one is I know that when I get to heaven, Jake will be there.
He was one of the few officers that would always come in and say hi to dispatch no matter what. He wanted to have that connection with us, like we were family.
He just did that because that's who he was.
He always wanted to know what was new in my life, what was going on, and I deeply miss those conversations. I think about him every day, and I'd give anything to have those talks again.
And don't forget about the laughs.
Jake gets his back. He's smiling. Everyone knows that smile. He's laughing. So what'd you get, Jake? An A. I said, Jake, how do you cheat off me and get a better grade? He said, you can take it up with the professor. I'm sure he'll give you an A.
And he would have been successful had there not been one small tree on the side of the trail. It was over. Jake was calling for a medevac and said he was done riding. He also had a strong love for my daughter. We'd go over to Jake and Bailey's for dinner. I think Jake played with Rayleigh the entire time. My daughter loved him.
He was unapologetically always himself. I don't recall a day when Jake didn't make me laugh, even after arguing with him. I miss the sound of Jake's laugh and that beautiful smile. I miss the hope for a long lifetime of brotherhood.
When you think of Jake, just remember that big smile looking down on all of us from heaven.
Officer Jake Reed's end of watch was March 11th, 2022. In Joplin, Kerry Worthen, KOAM News.
A Jake Reed Memorial Scholarship Fund has been set up in Jake's honor to help pay for an MSSU criminal justice student's tuition and will continue each year, as well as a donor-advised fund. Community members gathered today at North Park Mall in Joplin for the 9th annual March of the Kidney. The event has participants walk a 1-mile course through the mall to raise awareness and educate people about their kidneys and potential risk factors. The $15 registration fee went directly to meet the needs of Freeman's dialysis patients and into the Freeman Dialysis Patient Assistance Fund.
Well, just, to raise money for these patients and most of the people that have come out to support either have been, are currently, or know someone who is suffering from kidney disease, and they understand the fight that they have.
According to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, 37 million American adults suffer from chronic kidney disease. Members of the Missouri Southern State University football team joined Joplin School Facilities staff for a cleanup effort at West Central and Columbia Elementary Schools. Players split into 2 teams to remove trash, auction items, and fixtures from each school. The cleanout was one of the last processes required before Columbia Elementary can be demolished, and West Central can either be demolished, repurposed, or sold.
The thing that keeps it going is these kids they have a servant heart. These kids want to give back. At some point, someone took time and invested in them and their lives, and so for them, it's giving back and being able to do that. And so it doesn't take a lot. These guys they love to give, they love to serve, they want to be a part of the community they play in front of.
Joplin Schools is required by its memorandum with the City of Joplin to raise Columbia Elementary within 12 months of occupancy of the new Dover Hill School. The Loving Grace organization hosted Stiffed at the Speakeasy tonight. The event was an interactive mystery dinner complete with cocktails and a silent auction. Guests worked other guests at their table to solve the whodunit style mystery. All proceeds from the event went to benefit Loving Grace.
Yeah, just bringing everybody together in one room to help raise awareness about young women that are homeless in our community and don't have a place to go, and just bringing everybody together in a fun way.
Loving Grace works to help local people in the community every day. Meteorologist Sam Lane joins us now for a first look at the weather.
All right, thank you very much, Cale. We've had a few scattered showers developing over the last few hours on radar. You can see these. We're going to zoom in on this activity in northern Delaware County, right now near Grove, extending on over towards Pineville to the south and east of Goodman. We also have some other showers in southeastern Kansas, east of Cottage Grove, near Elsmore, and also north and west of Chanute. All of this is kind of drifting off towards the east-southeast, and we'll see these scattered showers throughout the evening hours. We're also going to see the fog develop with temperatures dropping down in the 40s all the way down to 37 by tomorrow morning. And looking down the lane, we're going to see that fog in the morning, so watch out for that. And then mostly cloudy tomorrow, followed by partly cloudy to mostly sunny skies by Tuesday. And then Thursday, we have some storms moving in, and we'll talk about that a little bit later. Here's the fog tracker. You can see that the visibilities are expected to drop in some isolated areas to around 5 miles or lower by morning. I'll have all the details in the forecast in just a bit.
Thank you, Sam. Silver Dollar City opens its season this weekend. Many talented performers call the theme park home every summer. And as Chad Pline reports, one man has been enjoying his time making music at the park for many years.
In Kimberling City, the lake is up. And so is the spirit of one of its residents, Brian Arnold.
You hope that with your life that you do something that makes a difference.
Brian's life was shaped 116 miles away in West Plains. He wanted to be like his dad, basketball coach Bob Arnold.
At the age of 6, I slipped under a lawnmower. It was just kind of a freak accident, and my left leg was cut off below the knee and made fun of for having this artificial leg kind of thing. So I grew up with a bit of a chip on my shoulder. You know, you don't feel like you fit in.
Brian's mother, Shirley, had an idea. She bought a used piano for $25. It became a priceless gift for her son. He learned, practiced, and received a music scholarship to SMS, but most importantly, received a purpose in life. Brian got his start in Branson working on the strip. No, not in a theater, but at this Walmart.
In the toy department, which is the worst place in the world to work. You know, because your kids are constantly, playing with the toys, and my job was to, stock the shelves, face the shelves.
One day at work, Branson performer Gary Wilkinson of the Wilkinson Brothers heard he could play the piano and offered him a job.
And I looked at those shelves and everything, absolutely.
Brian started playing piano at the old Roy Clark Celebrity Theater. That led to a full-time job at Silver Dollar City, first playing the piano, and later as a singer in the quartet named Chosen Few. They became so popular, the group would tour the region in the park's off-season. And on January 16th, 1994, Brian was on his way to another gig, this one in Marshfield.
And my wife said, "Don't go." And I said, "Oh, it'll be all right."
On I-44 near Stratford, Brian hit a patch of black ice, slid onto the westbound lanes, and into the path of a semi.
The seatbelt saved my life, but it's what caused all the damage because I found myself hanging by my neck out the door.
Many didn't think Brian would survive the night. He suffered numerous injuries, including a broken neck, and he severed the nerves running from his spinal cord to his left shoulder, arm, and hand.
And the whole time I'm lying there, I realized, this is a big deal because I can't move my arm. And of course, all the thoughts running through your head. I'm a piano player.
But the man without movement in his left arm leaned on the lessons of a boy without a left leg.
Even with the mess that I found myself in, God has this unique ability of taking a mess and turning it into a message, which is basically what he did with me.
Following surgeries and while fighting depression, Brian got exactly what he needed, an emotional phone call.
Silver Dollar City said, come on back to work. Now you got to understand, at the time, I'm in a halo brace. I look like an attraction, you know what I'm saying?
I want my life to be that roadmap that says home.
Then Brian thought if he could sing with a paralyzed vocal cord from that accident, why couldn't he play the piano with the one good hand he still had? Brian was back doing what he loved, performing at Silver Dollar City in the summer and touring in the park's off-season.
Don't you give up.
This time, sharing his incredible story.
I have every reason to sit at home and give up and, oh, woe is me. But I just get up every day and I try to realize that I've got a purpose, and everybody has a purpose.
Brian credits his wife, who helps him do many things, from getting dressed to handling the majority of chores around their home. He's written a book about his life called From Victim to Victory. You can buy it on Amazon. Coming up, the failure of Silicon Valley Bank is impacting many American businesses. We'll have those details. Plus, California continues to experience severe weather. Flood watches have been activated across the state. California Governor Gavin Newsom says he's in contact with the White House and Treasury Department as banking regulators work to stabilize the situation after this week's failure of Silicon Valley Bank. SVB's website says nearly half of the U.S. technology and healthcare companies that went public last year after getting early funding from venture capital firms were its customers. CBS News correspondent Christian Benavidez has more from Miami.
This week's rush to pull money out of Silicon Valley Bank sparked the largest failure of a U.S. institution since the 2007 financial crisis. California and federal regulators seized the nation's 16th largest bank's assets, transferring them to a newly created institution. It's expected to start paying out insured deposits on Monday. The plan is to sell off the rest of the assets to make payouts to other depositors.
We're relying on SVB as our bank to move money on behalf of our payroll company into the accounts of our employees. The key question is, are those funds going to move as planned on Monday morning? That's uncertain.
California Congressman Eric Swalwell issued a statement saying he's heard from, quote, scores of constituents who have not received their paychecks because of this crisis, putting their mortgages and financial security at risk. Working to reassure Americans, Biden administration officials said Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen is watching the situation closely.
Our banking system is in a fundamentally different place than it was, a decade ago, and that the reforms that were put into place back then really provide the kind of resilience that we'd like to see.
In addition to startup businesses, established companies like Shopify, Pinterest, Etsy, and Roku are feeling the impact. In a filing Friday, Roku said about a quarter of its cash, nearly $500 million, was deposited at Silicon Valley Bank, adding it was largely uninsured. Christian Benavides, CBS News.
According to financial analysis S&P Global Market Intelligence, 97% of SVB accounts had above the $250,000 insurance limit. New drone video taken earlier today shows the cleanup process, including the soil remediation and other contamination cleanup on the site of February 3rd's train derailment in East Palestine, Ohio. Controversy continues as crews work around the clock to restore the area around the derailment. An atmospheric river storm flooded Kern River yesterday, one of many areas in California where a flood watch will remain in effect until Wednesday, according to the National Weather Service. Drone footage from Kernville shows water flowing well over the river's bank, surrounding several buildings. Emergency officials in several California counties spent Friday patrolling levees in swollen rivers as atmospheric river storm drenched the already sodden state with torrential rains, causing floods that washed out roads and prompted evacuations. A little later, one boxing gym looks to engage the youth with their night program.
We don't have any flooding in our area. We do have some fog developing, and I'll tell you about that as well as your work week forecast when we come back. Well, friends, we've had lots of clouds today, also a few scattered showers here and there, and that's continuing into this evening. Now we have fog to add to the mix. Right now in Seneca, Missouri, the Indigo Sky Casino and Resort, you can see wet pavement down there as well as across the entire area if you've been under those showers. Now we're starting to see visibilities drop due to the fog developing. This afternoon we had a high of 48 degrees after we're starting out at 41, so a very short thermometer today. But look at the ranges we can have this time of year. 85 back in 1967, but we've also been as cold as -5 on this date. And the good news is we're ahead on the rainfall for both the month and for the year. Showers are on radar, especially out in south central Kansas and north central Oklahoma. A few scattered showers in our area in northern Delaware County, McDonald County, also up around just east of Chinook, also here and there in the metro area. But the big storms are down to the south in southwestern Arkansas. Severe thunderstorm warnings in effect for many of these communities from Hot Springs down to DeQueen, and then also in southeastern Oklahoma and northern McCurtain County, north of Idabel and south of Tallahena. All of that activity is moving towards the south and east. You can see on the satellite view, these storms just exploded over southeastern Oklahoma. A tornado watch is in effect for that part of the country until 2 a.m. this morning. But the good news is no severe weather to deal with in our area tonight. You can see this is all part of a storm system that's moving through the northern plains right now. That's moving away, but we're watching two other systems on the west coast that's going to be making their way towards us as we go towards the latter part of the week. Temperatures right now are in the 40s, especially up to the north where cold wind is starting to move in. 42 in Yates Center, 43 in Iola. A little bit warmer down to the south where it's 50s down in Oklahoma at 51 degrees currently in Jay. And we're looking at about temperatures 5 to 7 degrees warmer tonight than they were 24 hours ago. But that's going to be dramatically changing over the next couple of days. Dew points are also pretty high, especially down towards the south. And because the temperature and the dew point are so close together, you have high humidities and that fog developing. And you can see the fog trying to develop here in the metro area right now with some of the sprinkles on the camera. 45 right now in Joplin. Feels like 39 because the north wind at 13. The dew point's not far behind at 43, so that gives us a high humidity of 93%. The visibility is already down to 4 miles. You can see the north wind in Pittsburgh as well, where it's 43 degrees. Dew point is 43, so the humidity is actually 100%, and the visibility is 10 miles currently out at the airport in Pittsburgh. Severe weather, like I said, is going to be down to the south tonight across Arkansas. Not really a big concern here, just going to have some scattered light showers here and there, and the threats are going to be low for everything. We're going to see the fog developing tonight, especially in some of the river valleys, but by afternoon, the visibilities will increase. Temperatures tonight are going to be in the 40s and the 30s with north winds, and then as we go through the day tomorrow, we're going to see highs in the 40s and 50s with north winds. But then, as we go into Monday morning, we're going to see lows in the 20s, especially up towards the north, maybe in a few teens. And then as we head into Monday afternoon, temperatures are going to struggle to get into the 40s and out of the 30s. And then on Tuesday morning, we're going to see lows once again in the 20s with easterly winds. And it's going to be chilly in that 8 to 14 day period across most of the country, except for South Florida, wouldn't you know it? All right, here's the next 7-day forecast. 49 tomorrow with fog in the morning, chilly on Monday with a high 44, then more rain on Thursday, at least it'll be 65. St. Patrick's Day though, kind of chilly. A high of only 43 and 42 on Saturday, and it stays chilly the rest of the extended forecast.
Yeah, I'm thinking that little leprechaun we've got on the 7-day, he might not be dancing.
Yeah, there's no pot of gold this year.
No, a little cold. All right, well, thank you, Sam. Still ahead, one gym is making a difference in the lives of their local youth. They say it helps build positive character and vent aggression. One gym is helping kids for free and making a big difference in the lives of at-risk students by teaching boxing skills to get aggression out and build positive character. The gym helps keep kids out of trouble and graduate. Taylor Wirtz has his inspiring story from Fort Myers, Florida.
Mario Nunez is a different person compared to where he was a year ago.
I was kind of close to killing myself. I was a bad alcoholic. Now it's been a whole year since I've drank.
A big part of that change, he says, his nights spent at SJC Boxing, where young men and women of all ages come to work up a sweat. Founder Steve Canton says they hone their fighting skills and build character all at the same time.
And there's a lot of problems in today's world, and so we want to change that just a little bit and give the kids an alternative where they can learn old-time values, they can appreciate hard work and good payoffs for themselves.
The program is free of charge, which makes a big difference for boxers like Brandon Garcia, who's put in extra effort to chase his dreams.
I would have to run 5 miles to the bus stop, the lead Tran, take it to Edison, then run to the gym.
The payoff, he says, is worth it.
You're at work, you're frustrated, you come here, you release everything. It's like therapy in a way.
Whether they're hoping to make boxing a career or they just want to come for the workout and camaraderie, the boxers tell us SJC is more than just a gym.
Everybody out training right now is family. Coach Steve, Coach John, they're all like family to me. I couldn't ask for more.
Taylor Wirtz, CBS News, Fort Myers, Florida.
SJC Boxing is hosting fundraisers and hoping to raise more money to help even more kids. We'll be right back after this. Habitat for Humanity celebrated International Women's Week this week with their Women Build program.
The hands holding these power tools don't belong to your average construction company. This is Women Build.
Yeah! That was good. It's a great opportunity for women to learn from each other, to collaborate alongside each other, and to get experience on a construction site.
Every International Women's Week, Habitat for Humanity offers women a chance to get their work boots on and start drilling. There's a purpose behind every saw, spackle, and screw.
Women helping women.
Once every drywall is up and every room is finished, this home will go to a nurse and single mom of 4.
A real opportunity for people to give back, and seeing people take part in the construction of that home is really exciting.
For volunteers like Dee Dee Nelson,
I'm learning a lot.
This is a chance to take charge.
It's always nice to have full independence as much as you can.
I'm looking for a 4-foot level. 40 women from all over the Cooley region. They're building more than just a home.
I've got a few in the living room.
These women are building a strong community to lead.
Thank you.
Pretty neat program.
That's a neat program. Hope they're very successful. We have some nice weather to talk about. Some fog in the morning though, but it's going to be chilly on Monday with a high of only 44, but then we start that slow warming trend. Then more storms on Thursday, followed by yet another cold wave next weekend into early part of next week. So it looks like it's going to be more winter-like this week.
Yeah, well, it is March. We'll get there. All right, well, that's our time for now. Thanks for making us a part of your night.